The night air smelled of wealth and perfume. Amara stepped out of a bolt cab in front of the Grand Hotel Kenneth had written on the invitation. She wore a simple blue gown, nothing flashy, but it clung to her like elegance had found a new home. This world wasn't hers, but tonight she had stepped into it. Kenneth was already waiting, dressed in a deep grey suit. He looked every bit like a prince from a fairy tale. He stood and smiled when he saw her, then walked over and kissed her hand. "You look breathtaking." She blushed and looked around nervously. "This place is too much. You shouldn't have. But you deserve much more, Amara," he replied, guiding her to the reserved table. Candlelight flickered between them. Soft jazz played in the background. A waiter poured red wine into glasses as Kenneth leaned closer. "Tell me something, Amara. What do you want out of life?" She paused. No one had asked her that. "Peace," she said finally. "And love that's not a lie." Kenneth's smile faltered slightly at her last words. And what if that love came wrapped in wealth? Before she could answer, her eyes caught a shadow at the entrance. She turned. Raymond? He had changed from his Okada boy look, now in a plain, clean black shirt and trousers. No disguise, just Raymond. Their eyes locked. For a moment, everything else melted away. Kenneth stood. "Ray," he said casually, "I didn't expect you here tonight." Raymond walked to the table, his voice low but clear. "Amara, we need to talk. Not as Ray the rider, but as the man I really am." Amara blinked, confused. "What are you saying?" Raymond took a deep breath. "I'm not who you think I am." The silence at the table was suffocating. Amara stared at Raymond, her heart racing. Her hands trembled slightly as she placed her wine glass back on the table. "What do you mean you are not who I think you are?" she asked, voice barely above a whisper. Raymond looked at Kenneth, who raised his brow in amusement, but said nothing. Then Raymond turned back to Amara. "My name is Raymond Okafor, the son of Chief Augustine Okafor, CEO of Ray Tech Oil Company. I'm not a real Okada rider. I just pretended to be one." The world tilted for Amara. She stared at him, too stunned to speak. "I was tired of being used," Raymond continued. "Every woman I met only wanted my wealth. So I disguised myself. I wanted to meet someone who would love me for who I am, not what I own. And then I met you." Amara pushed her chair back and stood, her eyes wide, breath shaking. "So all this time, you were lying to me?" she said, her voice rising. "Ray, you let me pour my heart out to a stranger? I trusted you." "I didn't mean to hurt you," he said quickly. "It was never a game to me. I just didn't know how to tell you. Then, Kenneth, he offered to test you." She turned sharply to Kenneth. "You knew this too? So this was all just one big joke to both of you?" Kenneth lifted his hands. "I didn't joke with you. I gave you everything you needed. I showed you the life you deserve." Amara stepped back. Her head was spinning. The man she thought she could love had lied. The one who pampered her did it as part of a plan. With tears in her eyes, she whispered, "You both used me, and I don't know who is worse." Then she turned and ran out of the hotel, leaving both men standing in their own mess of lies. Amara paused at the front of her house, tears streaming down her face. A few neighbors greeted her, but she ignored them. Then she busted into her room, slammed the door shut, and collapsed on the floor, clutching her chest. It felt like her whole world had been a carefully arranged lie. Her mother sat up slowly from the bed. Amara, what's wrong? She asked, alarmed. But Amara couldn't even speak. The words were stuck in her throat. She finally crawled to her mother's side and sobbed into her lap. They lied to me, Mama, she cried. Ray, he's not an okada man. He's the son of a billionaire. And his cousin, Kenneth. They were both testing me like I'm some kind of experiment. Mama was quiet for a long time. Then she gently stroked her daughter's hair. But did Ray ever treat you poorly? She asked softly. Amara sniffed. No, he was kind. But he lied. And Kenneth? He gave us everything. Medicine, food, even that phone. But now I wonder if it was all fake too. Her mother sighed deeply. My daughter, men with money can be dangerous, but not all of them are evil. The one who lied to protect his heart may still love you more than the one who gave you gifts to prove a point. Amara sat up slowly, her eyes swollen. I don't know who to believe anymore. Meanwhile, at the hotel, Raymond stormed out of the restaurant and grabbed Kenneth by the collar in the parking lot. You took it too far, Ken, he shouted. Kenneth shoved him off, laughing bitterly. But you gave me permission to test her. I just did it better than you expected. Raymond stared at him. This was never about the test, was it? You want her too. Kenneth smiled coldly. Maybe I do. Days passed, but Amara refused to pick up her phone. The new device Kenneth had given her remained switched off in a drawer. Her old cracked phone buzzed endlessly with calls from Ray, but she let everyone ring out. She was angry, confused, and ashamed, not just because she had been lied to, but because her heart still longed to hear Raymond's voice. Raymond, on the other hand, was restless. He hadn't eaten properly or attended a single business meeting. His mansion felt empty, even with all its luxury. He had everything money could buy, but the one thing that made him feel alive had slipped through his fingers. He finally drove to her street, dressed plainly. No driver, no security. The neighborhood boys whispered, surprised to see Raymond in a black Mercedes and not Okada. But Raymond didn't care about their stares. He went straight to Amara's door and knocked. She opened it, paused, then began to close it immediately. Please, Amara, he said quickly, holding the door with his hand. Just give me 5 minutes, then I'll never bother you again. She looked tired and emotionally drained. What do you want from me, Raymond? To say I'm sorry, and that I never meant to humiliate you. I didn't know Kenneth would take it this far. I was only trying to find the right woman. I thought I could test your heart, but in the end, I tested mine. Her eyes filled with tears again, but she fought them back. I don't know if I can forgive you, she whispered. I'll wait, he said, even if it takes years. Before she could reply, a knock came at the door behind them. It was Kenneth, with a bouquet of red roses in one hand and a car key in the other. Amara, he said smoothly, I came to take you away from all this. Amara stared at the two men standing before her, one with roses and riches, the other with regret and raw emotion. Kenneth leaned against the doorway like he belonged there, his smile as confident as ever. Raymond, in contrast, stood like a man stripped of all pride, pleading with his eyes more than his words. I didn't know you were expecting visitors, Kenneth said, his eyes shifting briefly to Raymond. I guess I should have called. You shouldn't have come at all, Raymond snapped, stepping aside. Kenneth chuckled. Relax, cousin. I came to check on Amara. Unlike you, I don't play hide and seek with my identity. That's enough, Amara backed suddenly, surprising both of them. Her voice trembled with power. This isn't a competition. I'm not a trophy. She turned to Kenneth. You knew what Ray was doing. You saw I was struggling. You threw money at me like I could be bought. That's not love. Kenneth's smile faded. Amara, I never meant to insult you. I helped you because I cared. But yes, at first, it started as a plan. And what is it now? She asked sharply. Another mission to win something your cousin has? Raymond stepped forward, his voice low. He's not the only one to blame. I started this. I let my fear of being used make me dishonest. But Amara, my feelings are real. Everything I told you, that part was never a lie. She took a deep breath, her heart pounding. Both of you need to leave. Amara, Raymond began. No, she said firmly, her voice trembling. I need time. Alone. I don't know who I can trust right now, and I don't want to make a decision while I'm angry. The men exchanged a long, silent glance. Then Kenneth dropped the car keys on the floor beside the flowers and walked away. Raymond followed shortly after, without a word. Amara closed the door, her hands shaking. For the first time in her life, two powerful men were fighting for her love, and she didn't know what to do. The next morning, Amara sat by the window, staring blankly at the street. Her oranges remained untouched, her tray resting in a corner like it no longer mattered. She hadn't spoken a word to anyone since the incident the day before. Her heart felt heavy, not because two men loved her, but because both had betrayed her in their own ways. There was a soft knock on the door. She hesitated before opening it, expecting another confrontation. But there was no one outside, only a white envelope sealed with gold wax resting gently on the doorstep. She picked it up slowly and went inside, her heart pounding. When she opened it, her eyes widened. It was a handwritten letter from Raymond. Dear Amara, I never imagined that pretending to someone else would lead me to the one person who sees me more clearly than anyone else has ever. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I want you to know the truth. Not about my wealth, but about my heart. I love you. Not because you needed help, not because you are strong, but because you are you. Whatever you choose, I will respect it. But if there's any chance, no matter how small, that I can earn your trust again, I'll wait forever. Ray. Amara held the letter to her chest. Her heart twisted painfully. The words were sincere, raw and real in a way that touched her deeply. Later that afternoon, as she stepped out to get bread, a sleek white car pulled up beside her. Kenneth rolled down the window, smiling gently. I know Ray sent you a letter, he said without asking. I'm not here to fight. I'm here to tell you something you deserve to know. What is it? Kenneth's smile faded. Ray's father doesn't know about you. And when he finds out, things might get ugly. Amara's chest tightened. What do you mean? She whispered. You are about to step into a world where love isn't enough. Are you ready for that? Amara couldn't sleep that night. Kenneth's warning echoed in her mind like thunder before a storm. You are about to step into a world where love isn't enough. She turned and tossed, gripping Raymond's letter tightly. Her heart wanted to forgive him, but her mind replayed every lie, every disguise, and every test. By morning, Kenneth returned, this time not in his car but on foot. He wore a simple native attire and slippers. I came to walk with you, he said. Amara sighed but nodded. Let's walk then. They moved quietly through the dusty streets until they reached a mango tree where children played. Kenneth broke the silence. I care about you, Amara. Maybe too much. I know I was part of the plan, but now I'm not playing anymore. I'm in love with you. She froze, her heart raced. Kenneth, don't confuse pity for love. It's not pity, he whispered. I would give up everything just to see you happy, even if it means stepping aside. At that moment, Amara realized her heart was in the middle of a battlefield, not between two men, but between love and fear. Amara stood still, torn between the warmth of Kenneth's confession and the cold truth buried beneath it. She looked into his eyes. They were soft, sincere, and full of longing. But behind that gentleness, she could still feel the echo of the plan, the test, the betrayal that started it all. I don't know what to believe anymore, she whispered. Kenneth stepped closer, lowering his voice. Then, believe this. When I first agreed to help Raymond test your love, I thought it was just a game. But each day with you, seeing your strength, your kindness, your love for your mother, it broke something inside me. I found myself caring more than I should. Tears filled Amara's eyes. Why didn't anyone just tell me the truth? Because we didn't think you would stay. Because Raymond, he was scared. He has never loved anyone like this before. Amara turned away, the air thick with emotion. She didn't speak for a while. Finally, she said, Kenneth, you've been good to me. You've helped my mother. You've shown me kindness when I felt most broken. But I don't love you. My heart was never yours. Kenneth nodded. His smile sad. I knew, but I had to try. Suddenly, a car horn blared from behind them. A sleek black car rolled to a stop. The door opened and Raymond stepped out. His eyes locked with Kenneth's, then Amara's. I need to speak to her, Raymond said, his voice calm but firm. Kenneth nodded, stepping back with grace. She's all yours. Just don't mess it up again. Raymond walked up to her slowly. Amara, I'm not here to justify what I did. I'm here to beg. Not for forgiveness, because I don't deserve it, but for a chance to start again without lies. Amara's hands trembled. The two men who had turned her world upside down now stood like shadows on opposite sides of her heart. The wind whispered through the trees as Amara stood between the two cousins, her heart pounding like thunder in her chest. The world seemed to pause, holding its breath as she faced the man who had broken her trust and the one who had tried to buy her love. She stared at Raymond, his eyes no longer proud or playful, but humble, broken in the way only love can break a man. Why should I believe anything you say now? She asked softly, her voice barely above a whisper. Raymond took a deep breath and stepped closer. Because this time, I'm not hiding behind a disguise. I'm not riding okada or pretending to be someone else. I'm Raymond Okafor, the man who fell for you. Not because you are perfect, but because you are real. The way you took care of your mother, the way you smiled even when you were tired, the way you trusted me when I least deserved it. Amara, I love you. Not as a test, not as a project, just as a man loves a woman. Tears streamed down Amara's cheeks. Her heart ached with the weight of every moment they had shared, every ride on his bike, every time he had made her laugh, and even every fight. Through it all, she had loved him too, despite the pain. She looked at Kenneth, who offered a gentle, understanding nod. Go to him. Amara turned back to Raymond and took a step forward. He looked shocked, as if he didn't believe she would come to him. But she did. She walked into his arms, into the warmth of the man her heart yearns for. "I still hate what you did," she whispered against his chest. "I know," he replied, holding her tight. "But I'll spend the rest of my life proving that I'm worthy of your love." The sun broke through the clouds, as if blessing their reunion, casting golden light on their faces. And as Raymond kissed her forehead with trembling lips, Amara whispered, "Next time you want to test love, just ask. Love doesn't need games. It just needs truth."